the meme with the picnic chair that's fallen over, and it goes, "We will rebuild."
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We
Well,
will.
guys, what's going on? How are you? What's up? We have with us. Well, first off, introduce yourself, Chris.
I'm Shintani.
I'm Luke Passmore, and with us today,
We have-
super, very special guest, one Alexander Stoner.
Hey guys, I'm Alex Stone. Definitely Alexander Stone.
Alexander Stoner.
I was like, wow.
Alex comes to us by way of a couple blocks down the street from here,
Yep,
which is very convenient.
I actually drove, but I do live 2 blocks away.
He did drive.
Well, isn't that just a picture of LA right there?
It is.
Yeah.
It's too far.
Too far.
It's too windy outside, as previously discussed.
far.
But we're going to dive into all things Alex in a minute and where he's from and this crazy journey that is attempting to be a professional. But in the meantime, guys, real quick, let's catch up. What's up? What have you been shooting recently? Any fun jobs? Any fun stories? You can leave brand names out.
I feel like he's been shooting a lot more fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
been
things
busy.
things have been great. The end of last year in general was awesome.
Oh, you mean the pandemic year?
The pandemic, it's weird. I've never
Super
been
awesome.
never been so busy than as soon as the pandemic.
good for
started.
you.
Thank you. No, things have been awesome. You know, shoots has been great lately. Now that it's not overcast every day, we're
Yeah.
going back outside. You know,
Yeah.
I'm having clients really pushing for like, let's go to Santa Monica, let's go to Abbot Kinney.
Oh.
and-
You don't like overcast though for nice even lighting that you don't have to.
It is nice,
mitigate?
but when like the mood board and the inspo
Yeah,
photos are
sun.
like pure sun, and
Yeah,
then
sunny LA. People come here to shoot for a reason.
the agency is like, we're shooting at the overcast beach, and they send photos to the client. The client's like, wait, what happened to the mood board? And we're like,
Well, we can't.
we're like,
like,
we can't
wow.
make
ask Jesus.
we can't make the sun go away.
I don't know.
But no, it's awesome. It's all the photos are coming out. Everything's coming out really cool now that the sun's back.
The photos are coming out.
They're coming out. They're just coming out.
Do you want to tell listeners like what's you don't have to name specific clients unless you want to, but like what's the general genres you like working in? Like
I would
types, like
say
styles, yeah.
So I grew up shooting a ton of like fashion stuff and stuff like that. So I still am doing a lot of those lookbooks, those campaigns,
Yeah.
those social
Commercial,
shoots. Yeah.
SoCal.
Very commercial. Yeah, exactly. Which those kind of I'd like love to shoot those. I love to like get those photos that capture like people, capture the brand, like the message behind them. And,
telling a story.
And just do it. Yeah, telling a story. You guys
Yeah.
know we all do it. But yeah, no. Last year, I would say like last year I had one of my most favorite shoots was a shoot. I can totally say it was a shoot. It was a Disney shoot for their jewelry collection.
Nice.
And it was by far like the biggest scaled shoot that I think I've shot with like 50 people on set and all that.
Ooh.
Which
Was
I
it
know
like
that
jewelry like it's Princess Jasmine's locket? And she look like Jasmine,
it's like the Disney. They call them like Disney files. I don't know. The people
yeah.
that are like very into Disney like buy an engagement ring from them to like like you know what I mean, like that.
Oh,
So it's like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
high end like Zales stuff.
so
Yeah,
like a
but
Donald
Disney.
Duck ring.
It yeah.
Will you
It's
marry
like a
me?
Mickey Mouse diamond.
Exactly. No, they are real diamonds. No, but it was really cool. It was like one of the first sets that I feel like, because it was like half video, half photo, like most sets are nowadays. But
Are you
it
directing the
was
video, or are you running? You having a DP just kind of do his thing?
video? No. That was a complete like the agency took care of like the
Oh, gotcha,
whole,
gotcha,
like
yeah.
that part, and
Nice.
now it's just photo. Like it was me and my crew, or it was like maybe like 6 people on my side, but it was fun. Like I hear about like all of our friends, like you guys know, we're close with a bunch of other photographer friends, and just hearing huge sets. Everyone's always excited to be
Yeah.
a part
Oh,
of
yeah.
something really big like that.
Yeah.
So that was before that I'd been on like a ton of like 20, 30 people sets, but yeah, like 50, 60 people is
Yeah.
intense.
Nice.
And was
And
it
it's cool to
through?
be
Were you a
like,
tyrant? Did you just
yelling at
yelling and just a
like,
monster?
throwing cameras
to
throwing
everywhere?
sandwiches and stuff. No, the reason
Mendocino. I said Bristol Farms.
the reason I say sandwiches is like the craziest catering. It was just like all day you could just walk up and they could make you whatever you want.
Was it all for
Like, I want
desserts?
like-
Was it Mickey Mouse ice cream bars?
It was-
That's the only because it was a brand deal.
No, it's
so.
actually just churros and like the Dole whipped what the smoothie
Was it the
drinks.
best crafties ever?
It was good crafties, not Disney churros.
Nice. You're talking
Yeah,
about.
actually, maybe next time I'll request.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, come on. I think you've earned it. Like I said,
Yeah.
like you don't have to be a complete asshole, but throw your weight around a little bit. Like listen, my
You're like, I
Flies,
want Disney churros now.
Yeah.
That was that was. I
hire
mean,
Shouse and then make him drive to Anaheim to like.
Pirates of the Caribbean
I
clam
would,
chowder.
I would say.
Do they have that?
They have the best bread
Oh,
bowl
wait.
clam chowder.
Wait, is
at
it
Pirates
Pirate of the
Caribbean.
Caribbean
The,
branded
no, the
clam chowder?
Blue Bay, Blue
Yeah, it's the
Bayou?
restaurant right,
What's
like,
it
next
called?
to it.
Yeah,
That's
it's inside.
Yeah, you've never. Oh
Fun-
my
fun
God.
fact.
What?
Under Club
You've never
33.
been to
Never been to Disneyland or
What?
Disney World ever in my life.
Whoa.
Ever. I've been to Anaheim.
Well,
is
that's good.
That
weird.
counts, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You've
Cool.
never been to Disneyland.
Yeah. Well, none of you've ever invited me, so that's cool of you guys.
Do you watch like DC Marvel stuff?
Sure.
That's like Disney owned.
Yeah.
I've never seen any like.
You've never seen a single Marvel
I
movie?
no, I saw the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
a good one. That was fun.
Yeah, that's the only thing you've seen. So you've totally missed out on 20 years of pop culture, you know.
I keep up. But
Yeah,
I keep up, but not with
Yeah,
watching.
you keep up with the Kardashians is what you do.
Hey, Kylie Jenner is a genius.
She is.
They're all
So was all
geniuses.
this through Hyperblack?
No. So yeah, so there's, I mean, that's always like a really fun explanation that I have to give to friends and people is that I own two companies. So I have like a photography company that is
What's that
me.
called?
It's called alexstone.co LLC. and that is no like that's what I've been operating under for the last like 4 years of like all my commercial stuff and things like that. And then I created a separate company with some partners, and that's Hyperblack.
Yeah.
And the big distinction between the two, which is really nice and we can get into, is like I do commercial lifestyle campaign stuff under myself, and
Yeah.
then anything that touches like e-com, anything, it just goes into
Yeah,
Hyperblack.
even it's a whiff of ecom.
A
like
whiff of
like
ecom.
Like a
It's-
whisper on the wind. It's
I
like,
will.
that's Hyperblack.
It goes straight into.
And
Hyperblack.
explain to us what Hyperblack, like physically what the studio is and what it offers.
Got it.
And
So-
like, why
It's
did you
really cool,
start
by the
this?
way.
It is. It is. It is really.
Because you had said before off air that you had been kind of doing this business model for quite a while. So
Yeah.
walk us through
So I guess it all starts back in Las Vegas. It was a wild night. No, I'm just kidding. So I grew up in Las Vegas.
I was like,
and
whoa,
used
that's
to be-
tight. I did not know that's where this
I
came from.
secured funding from a.
I heard a different story, but
from
yeah, that's cool.
this pit boss, and this pit boss was really cool.
Nice.
No, so I grew up really young at like 15, 16 years old doing automotive photography out in Vegas. So like I was part of car clubs and I was a little street racer and I started doing that. And
Oh, like Fast and Furious?
straight up Fast and the Furious.
Was movies
was-
just like?
Toretto used to just drive around. I do not race the Tesla. So I started off doing that. I ended up moving to LA, and then I was continuing doing the automotive photography out here. I was shooting for wheel companies out here. HRE down in San Diego was like one of my best clients, and it was awesome. And then I decided really quickly that I didn't want to pursue car photography because I saw where that was ending up with a lot of, and it's great. You could shoot for BMW, for Mercedes, a day shoot,
Yeah.
pull in 50 grand, it's crazy when you're doing that commercial stuff. But you have to that has to be your end goal. And I
Yeah.
noticed that I did not want that to be really my end goal. I was like, well, I'd rather do more people and things like that. And back then I was like really inspired by Andy Leibovitz and
Yeah, she doesn't shoot many cars.
she does not shoot many
No,
cars.
yeah,
No,
not that
and Mitch, who am I thinking of?
Mitch the
not
photographer.
Not
You guys-
Mitch, the
Mitch.
photographer. I can't. The German guy with like the two. He has like the two panels and did a bunch of portraits.
Oh, Martin
Stroller.
Schroller.
Schroller. Yeah.
Martin Schroller.
Really
Yeah.
loved his.
Mitch to his friends.
No, me and him, I just call him Mitch. No, I mean, it was great. It was great. Like that stuff really I was like, fuck, this is awesome. So
Why did you connect with that, you think?
I don't.
Either of them.
I think it was like the images felt super. They felt cinematic almost,
Yeah.
and sometimes, but effortless. Like
Yeah.
it was like they
Yeah.
didn't even probably have to do much. But in reality,
Yeah, of course.
Now we know that
Yeah.
that takes decades and decades of practice and
Yeah.
honing your skill.
And even if like you see Annie's set, it's still like 24 people, but she still makes it look effortless somehow.
Exactly.
Like,
One guy holding a Photex soft lighter
Yeah.
over
Real close,
Yeah,
yep.
that real close. That's it. But no, so I saw that, and then I got pretty inspired to start doing people, and then I ended up working in 2009. 2008 or 9, I started working for an internet company that ran the websites for clothing brands. So that's how they kind of got started. So they, in 2003, they walked up to True Religion and they said, hey, Von Dutch. And they said, hey, we'll in like 2002, 2003, like that was the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
They said, hey,
Everybody everyone at least had that hat.
Von Dutch. Oh.
We'll build your website. We'll take photos of all the product. We'll house all the product, do all the fulfillment. Just give us the product and we'll take a cut.
Yeah.
They're like, great. They're like, well, let's do it. They succeeded in that, signed True Religion, started doing True Religion, then eventually took over like all the denim in town. And this was pre-Shopify, like pre all that. Like nobody knew how to build an e-commerce
and you were
website.
working at that website. So you're seeing this happen.
I was working in the photo studio section of that company.
Yeah.
So I began, shooting on model stuff. We were doing like lookbooks, e-com, off-model stuff. And that's where like as a young kid, I was like in my very early 20s.
Yeah,
like,
you only had about 30 tattoos then.
I think I had like 3. And then I started to understand, like that was my school. Like I never had proper like photography training.
Yeah.
But like that was like, oh, now I'm understanding strobe lighting to like a crazy degree. And I'm like, oh, well, this does that. And like I have to shoot watches now and I have to shoot 500 watches and they're all different and you have to figure out all the lighting with it. So that really got my like lighting down to where I was really comfortable in studio.
I want to insert real quick. I think that's really interesting what you just said. You said I never got proper photography training, and I want to say like there isn't such thing.
Exactly.
I learned everything I know about photography from YouTube. You learned it from assisting bigger guys, but like there's like you don't, for the listener, like you don't need a formal class that you go to 3 hours a day, 4 days a week, and say this is a soft light.
Exactly.
So
I would say that even before that, my first introduction to learning anything was this website called Photography on the Net, and it was like it was all the Canon users in the world pretty much. They would all go to this one Photography on the Net, which is how I met so many photographers I still talk to today. It's like
you talked to you're friends with other photographers besides that?
No, you two are the only photographers, the real photographer.
Good. This is how we know.
But no, it was like forums, and it was learning. It was somebody posting up an image and you asking, hey, how did you get that look? And then they would just tell you.
Yeah.
And then you would take a photo and they'd ask you, whoa, how'd you do that? And then you're like, well, I just did this.
That's cool because a lot of photography, certainly some of the culture is very secretive for some weird reason.
Yeah.
They're like, I can't. I'm like,
weird.
Yeah, it's like
Model Mayhem days.
Yeah, Model Mayhem. like dude.
The gatekeeping doesn't really, like to this day, I have kids just people, DM me and say like, hey, what did you use for this? And I'll tell them like, the aperture, the ISO, I'll tell them everything. I'm like, because I would want somebody to learn, and I know that they would never ever be able to like create the same exact thing, but at least maybe they'll turn it into their own thing. And I do that like I do that all the time.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. The campfire rules leave it better than you found it. And I just the gatekeeping. It's like, dude, you didn't invent hard light, a direct flash.
No,
like,
that was Terry Richardson.
Exactly. He's the one.
He invented everything.
He invented all photography. Anyway, so you're in Vegas.
So I'm in Vegas.
Working for this company. Shooting 500 watches.
Shooting 500. I end up staying there for 8 years, and then towards the end of those, and within those 8 years, I mean, I was working with. The director of the studio, and we were going out to New York. I was in New York for like 6 months, and we were building studios. So we were building studios for clients.
This is all out of Las Vegas.
No. Sorry. This is all LA. This is all LA. I already moved. So
when did you arrive in LA?
When?
Yeah.
In 2008. It was like right at the end of 2008 because of the financial crisis.
That's crazy. That's when I first bought a camera for the first time. So you had already been working.
I had just started there. In 2008, 2009 is when I just started there. And throughout the years, we were building studios for clients. So I was learning how to build studios now, and we did that in New York, New Jersey, Houston, and I think we consulted in San Fran. And it was like, we were doing all this stuff directly for the client, and it was really great. But while I was shooting, I saw myself shooting for like bigger fashion people. Like I was in the room with like the owners of these big fashion brands, like big at the time. And I remember there was just a time when they were talking to me, and then I figured in my head, I was like, oh, you're not talking to me, you're talking to the company through me. You know what I mean?
And you said, I want you to be talking to me.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. So that was kind of like this epiphany that I had, and I was just like, I need to go freelance. And at the time, like other photographers, like, dude, like you got to leave that job,
Yeah.
and you got to do your own thing. And I was like, okay, I mean, yeah. So 4 years ago, I did that, and it was like the best thing I could have ever done. I like drained the knowledge from that company as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
It was great, and I've met so many people in the industry. And then I went freelance. And for 4 years, I was just doing my own thing, and things were like, it was just nonstop. It was
So for the young man or woman or they who is listening right now, who is in a house photographer kind of situation, what confidence can you instill, and boldness you can instill? Like what other than I need to go freelance. It's scary.
No.
It has to be scary.
It's the scariest thing in the
it's
world,
like,
man.
well, there goes my steady paycheck. I only
health,
have
health, their health
five
benefits, everything.
5,000 in savings, maybe a little bit more because you're pretty smart with your money. But so like what kind of encouragement? Like
Dude, it's so scary. But I mean, if you're in a house position already, and I've spoken to a lot of photographers that are in that position or have been, and it's learn everything you can from it, like everything. Learn how they communicate with clients. Like I get like on set a lot of times assistants are like, holy crap, like the way that you worked with that client was kind of like I've never seen anybody do that or whatever. And I go, well, for 8 years I had a higher up pull me aside and say like, hey, like very early on, they're like, you need to learn how to like take control of a set. And this was when I was really young, and I was like, huh. So they take into, and they're like, yeah, you have to all the images depend on you. Like you are the makeup can do whatever they want, stylists can do whatever, but at the end of the day, like you're the one. It's your set. Like you have to convey that to the client. So every 6 months, I was getting these evaluations, or it's like you're getting better. Oh, okay, go to New York and do what you just did here in New York. Oh, go to Houston. Like, they would send me out to do these things because I kept taking that criticism and advice, and I was like, at a certain point, I was able to communicate with the client to like get more money for the company. Like it was great. So now, I mean, that just, I'm saying like learn everything you can from the client relations side, from the photography side, from learning how to talk to a hair and makeup person, learning how to talk to a stylist, like get what you want out of them. Be nice. Like everybody should. The thing about being on set is that for a lot of people, and like even client side, it's like, it's a vacation for them, They're like, oh, this is like the most fun part of my job ever. Is this, and you should be able to make sure that you keep everybody walking through stuff, and it was great. So I was freelance for 4 years. Oh no, sorry. What I would tell somebody who is in an in-house position is just learn what you can. And then with that, what I did for 2 years straight was every night and every weekend I would shoot freelance stuff. So I would still work in a 9 to 5, but then I would be like, clients would come through, we'd shoot some product, we'd do some like lifestyle stuff.
Were you ever testing? Were you working with agencies?
I was doing tons of model testing on the weekends. So that's when I started getting like the model connections and a lot more like Instagram stuff and more lifestyle stuff. And I feel like everybody's tested. All of us have tested, but it's a great way to get your name out, obviously, to hone your particular style. To learn how to work with agencies and to get paid for it, even if it's very little. Like back in the day, it was nothing. You're getting,
I would still say today it's still nothing. More or less nothing.
I think it's a little less today. But
it's a little less than nothing.
It's still something, though.
It's only 0.3 ETH.
And NFTs.
I think it's really great what you just said, that so much, speaking of message boards, Facebook groups, Model Mayhem boards, so much of that emphasis is put on technical. Like they're so interested in what are your settings, what kind of light.
Matter,
It's like, guys, you can learn that, like you said, through experience, or you can learn it with an online course if you really care. What you can't learn is just what you said, like how to direct, how to run, like how to own. Like I think
how to own the set.
It's like I can pretty much say we're all terrible photographers at this table, but I think all three of us are like we really do know how to run sets and be assertive and be nice. And like you said, like how do you express? I don't know anything about hair and makeup. I don't care. It's like, okay, that's fine, but you still should know what you want and how do you express that.
Yeah, but that's also what separates
the
hair
and makeup
difference.
person.
Yeah, but that is what's I've always said there's a very fine line between separating like a first assistant or a lighting tech to a photographer, and I'm like, and it's generally it's that point where it's like you're not running the set right, or you just don't have enough care, I guess, like in the rest of the production going into it, and your only focus is the photo, which yes is important, but also you need to know how to run a set. You need to know how to like execute an entire image, because yes, at the end of the day, it is you.
It's on you.
It's all you. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
It's your
I
fault if it doesn't turn out. Even if it's
Yeah.
not, it is.
There-
Because you weren't handling your shit.
there are enough talented people in this town that if you have a bad attitude on set, be it a photographer, a makeup artist, or a stylist or something, somebody could see you that you don't even know is watching you,
Yeah.
and say something to like another, another director. Like if you want to be the nicest person you could ever be to everybody, like that
Yeah.
should just be the way it is, because you don't want to burn bridges. You don't want to not get that next big job because somebody saw you on set, like, oh, that guy doesn't know how to do X, Y, or Z, or that guy's a jerk or something.
Yeah.
Like you don't want that like going around. You want to be like the nicest person and the most knowledgeable. You want everyone to be like, oh, he knows what he's doing, and everyone's really happy on set.
I don't think you didn't mean this, but I just want to make it clear. When you say I know what you meant, but like nice does not mean always conceding. Nice does not mean getting walked over. Nice does not mean
No.
yeah. It's
No,
being
just
courteous and firm.
Just be professional.
Yeah,
Professional,
exactly.
Just be
professional.
professional.
Be professional, like make sure people are, having a good time. I mean, don't, there are ways to control your emotions in a way that you don't have to yell at somebody. You could, pull them aside, explain to them like what, things like that. Just don't, I don't know, I think the image that you're portraying as somebody who's the captain of the ship is not somebody who's losing their shit all the time, or doesn't care what somebody's doing down on the other side of the ship. You do have to care. You do have to say like, oh yeah, like this, that. To talk to the makeup artist, talk to the stylist, explain to them visions and stuff. And
But I think
this
that's
is-
also the point of a photographer is like you are directing. So if you aren't coordinating with the team,
Exactly.
then you're not steering a ship. You're just
Yeah.
standing there yelling
Yeah.
at people.
you're just yelling at people. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the skill is just as valuable as
Yeah.
remembering to take off your lens cap. Like
Huge.
just as valuable.
Huge.
So don't.
Or switching it to RAW from JPEG.
Or taking it from aperture priority to shutter priority. So when does Hyper Black, which is your brick and mortar studio?
That is a brick and mortar
And
studio.
first off, tell us where it's located, tell us the size, and tell us how it all came to be.
So we're in the Arts District. So from all that, from that whole situation for 8 years, freelance for 4 years. During those 4 years, I started to accumulate a lot of e-commerce clients, like a lot, right? And e-commerce isn't something that I see myself doing for a long time. It's just the commercial lifestyle.
Yeah,
and
it's a
advertising
function of
stuff.
being a working photographer.
Exactly. So I ended up speaking with one of my old bosses and was like, for like a year or so, we're like, well, why don't we just do our own thing? And then it came to a point where I could not keep up with the e-commerce stuff at all anymore. It was just too much.
Yeah.
And it was during the pandemic. Is when it happened was because everybody started putting everything online. Like no more brick and mortar once the pandemic happened, and it's like, holy crap. So we were really a product out of the pandemic because of that. So the e-commerce became way too overwhelming. I'm like, you're right, let's just make the studio. So we created Hyper Black Studios as an in-house alternative for clothing brands to shoot any digital assets that they need to shoot, either lookbooks, in studio, product on model, off model, flat, overhead,
When you say alternative to what?
Alternative to them having a photo studio in-house. So a
Gotcha.
lot of clients have either a big warehouse or have a studio where they shoot all their stuff. Like, a lot of, do you think Nordstrom, Amazon, they all have that, Fashion Nova. But a lot of the smaller companies or like smaller denim, boutique denim, stuff like that, they don't.
Yeah,
but
they're not shooting enough.
they're not
Yeah,
shooting enough.
yeah,
So
100%.
they still need photographers. So we're an in-house alternative for them.
Yeah.
So they can come to us with whatever they need. And there's a huge need for that in the market. And doing it as like a single photographer sometimes is really difficult because at the same time when you're shooting mannequin stuff or overhead stuff, they don't care if Alex Stone's shooting it. They don't care if Christian Thomas. They don't care. They want a good image.
Yeah.
So to be able to harness that need into a company is what we're doing. So that's where that need came out of, and that's where Hyper Black was born. And I partnered up with two partners who were from my old company that we ended up creating exactly what we were doing there, but in a slightly more like boutique level where we're a lot more upfront with the clients and we're very like they're like friends, to us. So we moved into the Arts District, like a block away from where I lived, into like a 5,600 square foot space we signed a year lease.
Yeah.
And it was like really right in the middle of the pandemic. So it was actually for sale. we reached out to them. We're like, hey, like, shit's pretty bad right now. Like, would you be willing to like let us, use it for a year? And they're like, yeah, totally. Like, let's sign a year lease. We did that. And we moved in, and I think both of you guys checked it out. It was an awesome space.
Yeah, we went to the opening.
To the open house, yeah.
It's great.
It was awesome. It was great. Yeah, that was a fun place. And it was 5,600 square feet, had one hero stage and a second stage that could do model stuff or overhead stuff. And we're like, well, let's stay here for a year and see if it's too big for us or too small for us. So we stayed there for a year, and towards the end, we were like busting at the seams. It was crazy. We're like, we need to be able to have 6 shoots running at once. Like, this is not enough. And so we ended up towards the end of last year, towards the end of 2021, looking for a bigger space. Ended up finding the place that we're at now, and we have just under 10,000 square feet, where we have a huge hero space with like a 24 by 24 foot psych, a second studio that can house, multiple 9-foot seamless backdrops, or one big really nice shoot, and then we have like a flat area that can house like 4 flat sets at once.
Nice.
So we have a ton of space now to do everything that we need. We're hiring on people and things like that, and it's beautiful. It was like the first space was figuring ourselves out, like getting it, and the second space is a place where we can wow clients. Like now clients walk in and they're like, holy crap, this is like, we're drawing inspiration from Milk, like some of the best studios. We're like, we want to be a small version of this,
Yeah. I think what when we went to the opening party, which when was that? It was a couple months ago, right?
Yeah, it was like 6 months ago.
Yeah. What I liked most is like there was definitely enough room I could see for like several pallets of fleshlights. Just like kind of like keep on
exactly
for like client gifts. Like, thank you. Here's a fleshlight.
Here's a fleshlight.
Yeah. Which is smart, because like, what do you keep those in your car?
Yeah, no.
You get pulled over. The officer's like, what's going?
Well, you might give him one, but
yeah. Well, that's what
He's like, are you trying to bribe me? You're like, maybe. All right, I'm just gonna take this for evidence.
So that's where we're at. It's it's great. It's where I was able to, I tell everybody I was able to house my e-commerce clients there.
Yeah, it's huge. It's enormous space.
And now I can focus on my photography business, which is commercial.
Yeah, and I asked you this the other day when we were hanging out at dinner, and just you can say it here again. Obviously, it's so you're not there 24. You're not there shooting. Like you are. You own it. You run it. You help run it. Or sorry, you co-run it, I should say. But you're not the photographer doing overheads.
I go in for larger shoots. I go in for like the lookbooks, the creative stuff, like a lot more of the creativeness where it does matter who's shooting, where the client is like, we want you to shoot it, as opposed
well, they
to,
want your voice.
Yeah, or they want your voice, or you're directing,
or
and so I go in maybe like 2, sometimes like 3 days a week just to do those shoots, and then I cruise out and then do my own thing, because I my goal, and I had this discussion with my partners, was my goal is to continue on this trajectory with my commercial and campaign stuff, and not be tied down by any e-com stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've all done e-com, obviously, but we don't, that's not something that's like sustainable forever, it's like, but
you can develop it too, so that you, self-sufficient.
And this is what Hyper Black is to me. It's like in 10 years, it'll still be there cranking out these,
and you'll be on the Mykonos, relaxing
on his iPad going, yep, that's true.
That's too much. We don't even have to do that. So the goal is, so the goal is LA now, New York very soon. We have New York clients, so we want to give clients the option to either ship stuff there, ship stuff here, get models there, get models here.
Where in New York are you looking to open? In the boroughs, or even open in Manhattan?
We need to. That's gonna take a little bit. In 2010, 11, when we were there, opening studios for clients, everything was happening in the city. Like all the brands were there, and they, it was easy for them to transport stuff into the city. Like, I think we were like in Herald Square. We were somewhere like Midtown, we were straight Midtown. So it was easy for them to send stuff there. But now, I mean, so many freaking brands in like Brooklyn and all that. So we'd have to figure out exactly where, and it doesn't have to be 10,000 square feet. Yeah. We can get away with a couple thousand square feet enough to run, a small space. So that's the plan, and then see where it goes. I mean, if Europe can be, doable, like let's do Europe. Let's go to London, So it's cool. It's a long play.
Yeah.
Like Hyperblack is a long play, and I have incredibly competent and amazing partners that they do a lot of the day to day.
Nice.
That's great.
So yeah, so it's awesome.
Damn.
So it gives me the time to really focus, and it's like me focusing on me is barely happening because like Hyperblack took a very long time to hone down, like a very.
My next question was, are you working on anything personal project?
What,
It sounds like
what are
maybe-
you
maybe
working
not
on?
right this moment, maybe not.
there was a time last year that I was doing there was a time pre Hyperblack that I was doing like over 30 shoots a month, like multiple shoots a day.
That's crazy.
It would go from like a test shoot in the morning, a quick half day with a client in the afternoon, and then shooting product by myself at night, and then editing. Like it was not like I wanted to see how much I could do in a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it. Like I'll say yes to everything.
Cranking through it.
Dude, that sounds like way too much work. I didn't get into photography.
I have heard of one other photographer on a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, but apparently there's another photographer by the name of Ben Watts who apparently works like 300 days out of the year.
Yeah.
Really?
Or like 320
Ben,
something days.
you're
out
working
of the
too
year.
much, bro.
I was like, that is
Work-life
It's
balance, Ben
insane.
Watts.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, that sounds familiar. I think does he have like the yellow thing on Instagram? I forget.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this stuff's great.
Yeah.
If we're thinking about the same
So
guy.
if you ever watch this and you want to come on the show,
No, watch his brother?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
That guy's, yeah.
But he shoots like in the East Coast, like at the Hamptons all the time and stuff
Well,
like that
rough
too. Like
life.
all his work is at the Surf Shack out there too. I just remember last time I was out there, but I don't know if it's still there, but yeah.
It's really like figuring out how to. So now, I don't do that now. And now that
How
I
was
have
that
like
year, by the
it
way?
was the best year I've ever had. It was crazy. I was like, I did not think I could make this much money in my life. But no, it was great. It was awesome. And now I don't have to do that, which is nice.
Yeah.
You know,
So it was worth it.
it was 100% worth it. And
And you lost it all in crypto this
and
week,
I-
so.
There we go.
Yeah.
Man,
That's
Thanks
great.
a lot, Fed.
Just if people are listening to this in the future, which I'm sure you will, right now,
yeah.
crypto Ether's at 2,300.
Yeah, ETH is at 23.
So when
down
it's at-
from like 4,000
Tanking
3 weeks
itself.
ago.
When it's at 40,000, you can laugh at us right
Yeah.
now for not buying.
Indeed. Shintani, what's been going on with you, brother?
Just NFT life.
Tell us why you wanted to do it.
I did a series. I dropped a series called the Nectar series. It's going to be a continuation series for a while, but this one emphasizes on fruits, and everything kind of relates back to overall just like appreciation of like femininity and what the female empowerment and what it embodies. And so it's a representation of that. Just trying to figure out platforms to do it on. And all that other fun jazz.
How hard for people out there that want to like put out a collection? How hard would you say it was from like a scale of like, I don't know, understanding? Let's say somebody doesn't even have a MetaMask yet.
Yeah.
Like
Like
got a lot to learn, or-
from start to finish. Yeah, no.
well, we all have.
Okay,
like,
so
we all have a Coinbase and a MetaMask.
Yeah.
yeah, so
I'm
I'll
just
say as
saying,
long as if you could get to the point of a MetaMask, I think, or like just a wallet, like a crypto wallet in general, I think you
90% of the way there.
Yeah, you're pretty much there.
Yeah,
I think
real quick, listener, MetaMask is a wallet for your crypto.
crypto
in case
wallet.
for those who don't know.
Yeah.
It's a digital wallet specifically for the Ethereum network that.
It's a browser extension.
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like we're into this, Web 2.0. Web 2.0 was the Instagram photographer that had 1 million followers.
Yeah.
That when they were on set, they could only take a photo during like a certain time of day to
Yep.
create their look.
Yep.
And that was the clout that you're talking about. And I feel
Yeah.
like we're going through that all over again with
Yeah.
3.0 with NFTs. It's like
It's starting in that range
yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Because I had so many clients, or 2 particular clients, say that we hired somebody for their look, got on set, and they said that we couldn't
Yeah.
shoot for like 3 hours
Yeah.
until the sun was in a certain place. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
they're
Yeah.
like paying for everybody on
Yeah.
set to be there
Yeah.
to wait for this
I-
guy to
I-
make it.
100%.
I
mean,
can.
yeah,
I have it in my head. Are they local LA photographers?
Yeah, they were.
I have an idea of a couple of people who that could be, if
Who
not
that
all
could
3
be.
of those
Yeah.
guys.
No, but yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, but
Yeah.
it's always in the same token where it's like, yeah, it's you have people, but and this is the one big shift difference between NFT world and clientele, right? Where like clients, I'm like, if you're doing traditional photography for clients, you need to run a 8 to 10 hour day, and it has to be, you have to know how to run an entire 8 to 10 hour day making good photos. Like that's your job. Yes, you can choose and pick and choose times depending on what it's going to be, but like for the most part, they're paying you for your vision within the time frames that you're agreeing on.
At the end of the day, it's going to be an asset for a lot of people, and that's fine.
I'll even tell you personally, like you were about to ask me, you were like, oh, do you have any personal projects coming up?
Yeah.
In the past 2 years, no. No.
Because
But
it makes you no fucking money.
but now we met up last week to have dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna do the first personal project in years because of the fact that I have the opportunity to create a collection to put on, you know, an open sea or something. Like, it's changing people like me, who my whole job is doing, you know, photography for clients and stuff, and not having time for myself. But it's like pushing me to like, holy shit, I need to do something for me to be able to do this, to be a part of this whole thing that's growing. Which goes to like your point too, like Tish and Ty's point about it's making artists who are artists already create more art.
Guys, we have some questions that were sent in from our adoring listeners and fans. You guys are professional photographers. Perhaps it's appropriate for me to ask you these.
I think Alex is, but I don't know about
very,
me.
very hard-hitting questions.
Still figuring mine out.
I'm just in the NFT.
One person says, I'm a natural light shooter, and I think I've really mastered it, but I'm lost when it even begins to come to studio lighting. Any advice on how I can stop being intimidated and start to uncomplicate things in the studio?
Wow. I think, you know what's really funny is like I did it exactly backwards. It's like I did all studio stuff first, and then I was like, holy crap, people just go outside and they don't. Like for years I was taking a Vagabond Mini and an Alien Bees and going out to the desert and like just taking photos of strobes, because you remember in the early 20aughts it was like that. It was like we loved that like backlit like strobes, and I was bringing the studio outside where I started seeing people do just all natural light, and I was like, okay, let me try without it. And then now you can just get paid for it. You're like, what, you don't need strobes? I'm shooting a whole lookbook with a scrim and some natural light. Learn color, buy a strobe, you know.
Start with one light.
Start with one light. Start taking photos of anybody or of anything. Understand lighting, understand how certain modifiers, you know. That's the most fun thing, is to see what the difference between a beauty dish is and like an indirect octabox and a direct octabox and different size octabox and depths, and you being able to physically see that is so much fun. And understanding it is great. I think it's harder to go the other way. I think it's harder to spend all your time learning studio and then go outside and be like, oh, well, now I can't even control this sun. Like I can only control where I position somebody.
Yeah, it's burnt in your brain, and like it must always be controlled in this way. And it's like, well, no, you're at the whim of nature.
Exactly.
Or cloud coverage or a strong wind.
Exactly.
But I mean, I do get the point sort of with studio stuff, because just like equipment's expensive to some extent. So like the accessibility to a lot of it, I've always seen that issue with a lot of people who are trying to learn studio, where it's like they're intimidated because like even for me, the first purchase I did for studio gear was 6 speed lights.
That's your right out of the gate.
I was like, I had money.
Speed lights.
I had money. I was on like Model Mayhem or some.
You went with speed lights over like an Alien Bees or an Elinchron?
So I bought like a bunch of these speed lights because they all sync together, and I was like, okay, cool. And I was doing like events and shit like that for fun in college, and I was like, all right, that's tight. This should work. Did that, was like, wow, this is crazy expensive. And then one of my friends, I think Cook. I'm like, one of the guys was like, rocking Alien Bees, and they're like, yeah, it's like 200.
Yeah, that's either Kessler or Cook.
Yeah, it's like $100-something, $200 like a pop.
When you say Cook,
Cook is his name.
Kwabui.
Yeah, K-O-O-K is his nickname.
Yeah, back in early, like
Studio
late
E days,
2000s.
Canoga Park.
Yeah, and so then I was like, fuck. So I sold all of them except for one speed light at a used price instead to some like small camera shop in Orange County. Bought a bunch of Alien Bees instead, And this is going back to the whole like use one light first. Yeah, my dumbass was like, oh cool, let's buy like 4 alien bees and a ring light alien bee too.
Yeah, don't do that. Whoever submitted that question, don't buy 4 lights.
Yeah, don't do any of what I'm telling you right now. It was
Everything
absolutely terrible because everything was way too overlit and I was terrible at it. So then you're just like.
To the questioner, I mean, I would say a used alien bees is at a price point where it is nothing.
Yeah.
Like you could get it for $120, like a little, and learn. Like you could learn so much. You could light so much from that. Buy that and a little 5-in-1 modifier.
Yeah.
You pretty much have 2 lights if you spin that modifier into silver. You're good.
Yep. And then just test it out, do all that business.
Yeah, I think my advice would be the exact same, which is one, first off, the internet, infinite resource for actually the technical.
Yeah.
Just Google like how to use a beauty dish. You'll get 24 different videos ranging from like super professional to just a guy in a garage telling you how to do it. So you can learn it that way.
And then go to alienbees.com.
Yeah. If you want to make your money go a little bit further, like first off, buy used everything.
Buy used. Oh, dude, I think my whole first setup, I bought the Body 5D Mark IV. Every lens, Craigslist. Like every lens. 24 to 70, 70 to 285, 1.2 version 2. Everything was used. I was just
don't let second market or aftermarket like dissuade you because you think someone else, you don't know the history of what happened to that lens. Someone could have dropped it. I'm like, sure, like, but also it's gonna be fine. Especially if you for gear, if you like buy it on like KEH or something like that. But as far as lighting goes, like if you want to make your money go a little bit further, go ahead and get a Profoto D1 on eBay or Craigslist. But alien bees are perfectly fine. I would start beauty dish and then maybe a large umbrella with diffuser. If I had to entry level stuff.
If I had to pick 2, I would say an Octabox, a medium. I mean, I love myself an Octabox. Like that was the only modifier I had for years, like starting off.
Yeah.
I would say that, and then a large umbrella. Like a large umbrellas, like they're so cheap.
Yeah.
You don't even need the Profoto XL.
I love Octabox too, but like even cheaper is an umbrella.
Umbrella, you could get a white umbrella, put a little diffusion panel in front of that thing, and you just saved yourself $1,000 as opposed to like the Elinchrom Indirect, like 7-footer.
What would your 2 modifiers be?
What would your 2 modifiers be?
Magnum, and I'm.
Oh my gosh! I paid so much money for a Magnum and have never used it.
Oh, I use mine all the time. I paid a lot of money.
You still use it?
I use mine all the time. I love mine.
I think they come with cans. They come with 7-inch cans on them already. So it's like you got a can. I would umbrella, like an indirect umbrella, and probably a softbox or a softbox of some sort, or like an Octabank, something like, or some sort of like a softbox situation kind of thing, like a double diffusion.
Yeah, the point is like the point of entry can be very, very cheap, and it should be, especially because you don't know if you're going to actually stick with it or like it.
Yeah.
But like again, like internet, infinite resource for actually how to do it. And then just practice, like just start with one light. We all start with one light.
Just buy one. Don't do what I did. This is Shintani speaking. Do not do what he did.
Especially if like if you're into like kind of editorial fashion, like that's mostly shot. That's not mostly shot. That's not unfair to say. But like you can do a lot with one light, especially if you're doing.
Any portrait that you see in like a lot of magazines is probably JavaScript.
Maybe some V flats and a little bit of bounce.
I would say also get V flats.
Yeah, well, V flats.
Get poster board from Target. I still buy poster board from Target. Like get poster board. A Blick. I get the little 4x. I don't know what they're 4x6s. Yeah, 1/2-inch thick 4x6. Not at Target, at Blick, but 4x. There I get like the small ones for like product stuff.
Yeah.
And my other piece of advice would be when you're watching tutorial videos. Like, light is kind of a math formula, maybe, but it's really like, you can't say, okay, if I set this light at this angle from this many feet from the model, it will always look like that. Don't be fooled or don't be frustrated when you go to try to repeat that and it doesn't look the same, because while as much as it is a math formula, it is this kind of like, I don't know, does it look good to you? No, let's move the light in. Oh, that looks good. It's kind of like little tweaking here and there. Like you're supposed to be able to be flexible with it. It's not a rigid algorithmic formula that's gonna work every single time. And especially like different studios affect the lighting. Like big wide open space will look different from a very small space where all like the ceilings and the walls are all white, So it's just not a one size fits all with lighting. So just understand that it's not that you're doing anything wrong. if it doesn't look the same, it's just you have to be able to be flexible and kind of like improvise a little bit on that. We've got one more question, then we'll all get out of here, go get some food. I put this in because this question annoys me.
I like it.
The question is just Canon or Sony? ?
Oh wow.
I'm just like
Canon or Sony?
That's all it is. I'm like that question annoys me so much, but I'm gonna let you guys go first.
Gear has always been, you've seen some of the. Oh man. No, I mean people. I remember I have clients say like, oh, can we make a billboard like with the camera you have? And I go, dude, there were billboards being shot 15 years ago on like.
Do we need a phase?
Like
the 100 megapixels?
Yeah, the 100 megapixel phase.
I do get it though for very specific jobs. Very specific.
Yeah, they just said Canon or Sony.
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Phase 1.
Yes, I would say phase and Hasselblad. Anything over 80 megapixels, yes, definitely there.
Whatever. I mean, back to the Canon or Sony. It's just whatever suits your.
What do you use?
Their ecosystem. Oh.
Alex,
their
what do you
ecosystems,
use?
we're just so different.
Yeah.
I've been doing Canon since my whole thing was Canon 5D Mark II to a 7D to a 5D Mark III for years. 5D Mark IV had several, and then now, I made the switch over to the R5, and I love it. It's incredible.
I love it.
There's literally I had to speak to so many people about the stuff that you said about Canon R5s, my friend. Son of a biscuit, dude.
Same.
There were like there were
going behind
four.
that.
I'm not exaggerating. 4 different people. They go, well, hey, but what do you think of the R5? And I go, dude, it's awesome. Like I'm using it every single day on all my sets. And they go, well, Lucas Passmore said that. And I was like, what? And I was like,
he says
what?
It overheats. It
Yeah, he
sets
said
on
it
fire,
overheats, just
basically. I don't
taking
know about
5
this.
frames in. And I go. First of all, that guy. No, I'm like, dude, he had it bad. Like it was, when you get the first gen anything, there are gonna be some bad ones in there. So I totally think I've never seen an overheating pop up on my R5. I probably have like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I've got the red flash, and I had overheated so bad. I got the second overheated one, which is a white flashing light bulb. Then
wait, on your new camera?
Yeah, on the R5, I looked up the white flash, and the white flash says that if you're seeing this, now your images are being degraded.
What?
That's how hot it is. So
wait, this is all on the same camera?
Same camera.
And was this
same camera.
just stills or was this video?
Stills. This is Ecom. No, I've not shot a frame.
I shot the entire NFT project on video for 10 to 15 minutes at a time.
I wish you would have put an
4K.
asterisk with
crazy.
all the things you sent me. Like, well, this is my experience.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that aren't having the same. Because, dude,
my
the 4
God.
people, I had to I don't know why I was defending Canon so much. I was just like, dude, I am not experiencing the same things, is what I was telling you.
I'm
I'm
telling
like,
you,
I've
it
shot
works great.
3,000 images in a day. And I've never saw in the sun for a campaign I was shooting. And it never overheated once.
I experienced overheating 100% of the time while tethered after about 30 minutes.
Crazy.
And then I started experiencing overheating untethered on location.
Did Canon
on
give you a
warm
new
day.
one?
Did they give you a new one?
No, I solved it. All I did was reassign the red record button while I just reassigned it to like a random thing like picture styles. Solved everything. Doesn't even heat up. Doesn't even heat up anymore. Completely solved.
Canon, what's
And
up?
Canon, what's up?
And I
I have issues with my lenses already. So
I got this
totally
advice
get it.
after
Canon
Googling
RPS.
it because I am in the minority, but I'm not the only one. So
I know you're definitely not the only one, but it is the minority.
But I found that someone's reassign your record button in stills mode.
Somebody told you to do that,
Yeah,
and it worked. That's
worked
great.
like
I
that.
love when that happens.
I think it's because
Yeah. Reddit.
don't know because Shintani, spoiler, you also have an R5. Out of the gate, like that red record button in stills mode is it's always in standby because it's a quick video mode. So you can hit that red button and automatically be in video.
Yeah.
So I think what was happening
I didn't know
was
that.
knowing that I could hit that in stills mode, still hit that red record button at any moment and go quick to video. The camera's telling me, bro, if you want to go to video, it's gonna be too hot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
But I just
But on your
re-signed it.
video, it should still work for like.
Yeah. by the way,
least
like,
until your
Dude,
batteries
why didn't
die.
you? The first time you posted about it, I'm like, why don't you ever return that thing?
because I'm just really lazy.
I mean, I feel that. I'm the
But-
same.
Like I have to go
I'm
all the
just
way down to
saying,
Costa
to the-
Mesa, like,
Yeah.
and just
To the
have a-
4 people that reach out to me, I still love my R5.
Yeah. No, I still have the same one. It works perfect now.
He loved it so much that he stuck with
Yeah,
an
no, I love
overheating
that
piece
camera.
of crap.
So Luke's a Canon guy. Okay.
Yeah, and Shatani, I know you're, spoiler, you're also a Canon
I'm a
person.
Canon guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Phase 1 guy and a Canon guy.
There you go, phase 1.
But like, why this question annoys me is because it goes back to those Model Mayhem days where it got really vitriolic on these boards about like brand.
Oh, Nikon Canon was even worse. Sony wasn't around back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sony wasn't even doing
It wasn't.
Yeah,
No, there
that's
was
very
no.
true.
There was no Sony.
But
back
it's just
then.
like this is marketing. This rivalry is this like manufactured marketing, or it's just these like fanboys who like, okay, if you're getting so defensive about choose one and everything else sucks, it's like you're not really a photographer. Like you're
No.
like a
No.
gear acquirer and a gear appreciator, and I think you need
Yeah.
to feel defensive because you just sunk 10 grand into this stuff. But like,
There's-
it doesn't matter what brand you use.
as long as
Like,
your
they're
images
all
are,
great.
if you're making your clients happy and
Yeah.
you're creating what you want to create, it doesn't even matter.
yeah.
Well, I think okay. So I have a slight adjustment on that, but like it's a counter on that. But like, so I think if you're beginning, if you're beginning and you're trying to debate between what brand, there's no point. Just get a camera that you like. It does.
Yeah. Whatever's on
it could be
sale.
Fuji, it could be Canon, it could be Nikon. Who the hell cares? Just get a camera, learn how to use it, shoot well, develop a style. I was like, because yes, like at some point, like the reason I do shoot with the Phase is because I do like a medium format chip. Like just the way that
Sure.
the midtones come in.
Yeah, that's
I
like
do-
next level stuff now.
Yeah, I do
Like
appreciate
medium
the
format
crops
from
too,
full
for medium
frame.
format, yeah, and stuff
Yeah.
like that too, and the way that like the file management goes and coloring goes. I that's where I look at it. But like anything 35 and under, I'm like, that's pretty much all the same. to
Yeah,
me. Like
yeah.
it really doesn't matter at some point. It's just more functionality to me than anything else.
Yeah, and just definitely workflow.
Yeah.
I mean, some people like if I picked up a Sony, I could shoot with it on set, I'm sure, but I know every ins and outs of Canon, like you know, over the last decade
Yeah.
of using it, just real quick getting to everything and figuring it out and tethering and everything like that. And Capture One, I feel like for starters, I've been having this discussion a lot over the last year with people who are like, you know, they're like, oh, like I still get like the whole Lightroom or Capture One thing, and I'm like,
Oh, same. Yeah.
I have to
Go
be like,
on a set, see if they're running Lightroom.
exactly. I have to say, like, Lightroom is for consumers and Capture One is for professionals. I go, you go to any set anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
literally anywhere in the world, and you'll be on a Capture One, a
Yeah,
professional
yeah.
set.
It's not a debate. It's not which
It's
one's
not
better.
even-
it just,
no, no,
It
no.
just is. It's
Yeah,
Capture
just-
One,
it's
full
a-
stop.
Exactly,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So I have that discussion with a lot of people, and it's just like I have to explain to them why, and I think tethering is so, I tether probably 90%
You love a
of my
good
shoots.
tether.
I love a good tether, just wrapped around my. Just like I was gonna say neck, by the way, but
Yes, I know.
I think tethering, like learning how to tether, shooting tethered, like all of that is just so important to know if you ever plan on, you know, just becoming more professional with
Yeah.
photography and
Well,
stuff.
if you're going commercial, I think.
If you're going
yes.
commercial,
if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
going commercial,
Yeah,
it is
obviously
definitely
that's
something.
street shooter.
Yeah, yeah. Editorial-wise, yeah,
I'm just chasing you down with like, this
Yeah.
laptop and a cord.
Yeah, well, 'cause, I mean, shit, like you shoot street style client
Street
stuff.
style,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're running down with a cord, like that's what you're doing. But I think that's the, you know, it's like speaking to any new photographer generally, that's the question I always ask. I'm like, what's your end goal? Like, what are you trying to get? Are you trying to be editorial only? And like you have the means for that, by all means, rock and roll it. You
Means
don't-
meaning trust fund.
Meaning, yeah, you have money.
Meaning
I
you
was
get
like,
paid
you don't need to
$1.
pay rent outside of photography for a while because I'm like, because editorial, that takes a while to develop. I was like,
Yeah.
and if you don't have the money to support you without commercial, I'm like, yeah, that's what you got to figure out. But yeah, I'm like, by all means, and so some kids are like, yeah, I want to shoot this way, and that's it. I'm like, fuck yeah, man, rock and roll that shit. Don't listen to anyone else. You literally do not have to
Yeah.
tether. You want to just shoot
course,
film? Just shoot film, but
Hey,
get
there are-
really fucking good
There
at
are
it.
a lot of film-only shooters that are making
Yeah.
a lot of money right now.
Yeah, and I was like, and just rock that, figure out, like, I'm like, you know, just coming from a film background, I'm like, you can go and like learn different film labs and how they're processing and what you like and really get yourself into that. That's great. I was like, but if you want to do like ad campaigns for for commercial jobs
And get that commercial money.
and get that kind of money and then also do other stuff because you need to, I was like, well, there's a lot more steps you need to learn. and this is what it is, kind of thing. But yeah.
Guys, this has been fun.
It's been incredible. Thank you guys for having me. That
Alex,
was really fun.
Thank you for coming.
Well, you live right down the street, so we're gonna have you back quite a bit.
I'm glad you drove up.
When
you drove up the 2 blocks.
when Ether gets back to like $5,000, let's meet up again and laugh.
Yeah, and be like, haha, remember when we were panicking? But
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have bought even more, and now we'll be
Well, we've also sold all of our NFTs too for our first at least round or so.
yeah done. We're gonna be super successful one day, guys.
great.
One day.
Yeah. All right, gents. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Peace.
Okay, I need to get a pickup line because I realized I didn't do a segue into questions. So I'm gonna say, guys, we got questions, question corner or something like that, and you guys.
Question corner?
yeah.
We are not calling it question
I know.
corner.
Fair enough. But then you got to be like, oh yeah, questions.
I like it.
I'll edit it.